Hello, welcome back to this new reading log. So this week I'm going to be reading most of my witch manga, and we're going to start with Witch Life in the Micro Room Volume 3. I think this is still an ongoing manga. It's a bit of slice of life. We got our two main characters, Madge and Ririka. They're in the C rank, so it's been kind of hard for them to find job lately because of their rank. However, they usually find a decent job that will help them, pay their bills and so forth. So in this volume, they bumped into another witch named Alola. However, she's a B rank, so she's a little bit obnoxious, but eventually she becomes friends with these two girls. It is because at first they had a little bit of competition, and then, Madge won. Okay, this is Madge, this is Ririka. And anyway, about the competition, I think it's because Madge and Alola always butt head, and then one day they decide to compete one another, and Madge won, and then slowly they start to get to know each other. Since Alola lived next door, she's been coming over and having breakfast with them, and now they're kind of becoming closer, and Alola has decided to also help them with their upcoming tests because they really want to move out to B rank, so this way they will have more jobs offered to them. Then on the day on the test, they met their proctor, and this person's happy to be someone they know from the past because of the job. The test was very unusual. They were kind of just assisting her schedule, attending some events, and then after that, the proctor decided to pass them because of their past jobs. A lot of people left like good reviews about how great they are, and they did an awesome job. And of course, these girls were so happy because they can finally move up and find a better job because they've been struggling in the past with buying food and trying to pay the rent, and that is why they live in a micro room, because that's all they can afford. But Madge and Ririka are so determined, trying to make a living and just pursuing more whatever they can. And this is such a cute slice of life about two normal witches trying to get by and doing their best every day. So far, this manga has 4 volumes, and the 5th one comes out in August. Again, this is a slice of life that takes in the modern time. Even though they're witches, they do struggle when it comes to power. So really like it, and I need to grab the 4th volume soon. Alright, I just finished this witch manga called Aria of the Beach Forest. This is volume 2 by Yuguri Aika. Oh my god, I love this story so much. It's kind of refreshing and different. It's not completely fantasy because this story takes place in Dublin, Ireland. It's also in the mother world. As you can see, there's a card in the front cover. And we have Arya. This is Colleen, and then Arya's dog, Gwen. So in the last volume, she meets Colleen and Alvin, who happens to live nearby, and she was completely surprised to see another person like her, I guess, because she's been living in the forest all of her life with her grandmother, but then her grandmother passed away. So ever since Colleen and Alvin has been coming over, they've been having like a nice treat, eating together with Arya. So in this volume, Arya decided to like venture out outside the forest because there's another character. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Sometimes he visit Arya to give her supplies, and then Arya would give him some herbs to sell. He was kind of like telling her and kind of influenced her like, you need to see the outside world because living in the forest by yourself can be lonely. So this time she decided to venture out, and actually Colleen invited her to attend a little party that Colleen planned. So she went to her place, and she was completely shocked with a lot of things, especially appliances, and she think these appliances are used by magic, but no, of course, since it's run by electricity. Seeing these appliances kind of make her in shock and confused because it was her first time seeing it in person. At the same time, before she even went to Colleen's place, she was kind of hesitant to go out. I think she was starting to feel nervous and overwhelmed the fact that it'll be her first time going outside the forest. but at the same time she had a really good time having a nice treat in Colleen's place. And she also met Colleen's mother. Now Colleen's mom think that Arya is just wearing a costume, but deep down she is a real witch. But at the same time she just think that she's just wearing this clothes for fun. Furthermore, Colleen's mom was very happy to see her daughter and son kind of venture out as well, because they just recently moved in this new area and she was worried about whether or not they'll make friends. So after all this, Arya went home, and then Colleen invited her again to go out at a grocery store. So of course Arya wanted to see. I think she's just trying her best to really go out there and not be scared. So seeing the grocery store of course made her feel overwhelmed. She was kind of in shock to see a lot of things. She kind of got lost but found her way back, and she was just super excited to see new things. Now, along the way, she does meet another character. She's actually a witch, but living in the city, because the guy that I mentioned earlier, they kind of work together. So she has this company that is full of witches. She's trying to give them a life rather than staying in hiding, because there was a big famine many years ago, and the witches were to blame, and ever since then they've been in hiding. And now that things are different, this company was created so the witches can have a regular job, and this way they won't be scared using their magic publicly. But I think they're using their magic behind the scene, but not publicly, because I think the witch are still trying to stay, being cautious, if that makes sense. So she came to visit Arya to definitely give her a proposal if she wants to, move out and be interested moving to London. But Arya didn't feel like it. Like, she think it's just not possible, or I think she doesn't mind her life being in the forest. And so the lady left and kind of gave her a card: if you ever change your mind, let me know. Arya feels like it's just not for her. She doesn't mind her life being in the forest. However, Gwen, her dog, has been trying to convince her, like, maybe you should give this a try, because what if one day I pass away? And that made Arya completely mad, and she kind of said some mean things to Gwen. So Gwen went outside, and apparently it was full moon, and then something happened to Gwen. Now Gwen is a dog, and then since it was a full moon, Gwen turned to a human, and that's how the volume ended. So the third volume does not come out until May, and I can't wait to read already, because I think it's getting super interesting whether or not Arya will change her mind. And this man, well, from dog to man, that's a total big mystery. Kind of remind me of another story where an animal turned to a man, and then the owner was also, which now I can't remember what manga was that. Anyway, I really like the story. I think it's just super refreshing to read something different, that we get to know this witch and finding out that she's not very aware of a lot of things, especially in her own world, and seeing new things kind of made her a bit of surprise and just shock, and she's trying her best to just fully immerse but at the same time scared. But of course she doesn't want fear to stop her from experiencing new things, and that's what I like about this story. I just love it. It's a bit of slice of life. She does a little bit cooking here and there. I kind of like it because it's also sort of like foodie, but not completely, of course. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to read more of this manga. Just gotta wait until May for the next volume to come out. So just finished reading this witch manga called Witch Hat Atelier volume 13 by Kamome Shirahama. So in this volume, not much going on. We still have the leeches problem. The citizens are trying to evacuate, but at the same time kind of worried, because a lot of people are just concerned about what's going to happen next. This is Kusta. Coco's been trying to find him because Kusta's mind seems to be leading to a dangerous path, because she knows that the Brimhap targeted him, kind of give him certain power, or told him how to use magic, because he's been inscribing certain symbol on the certain people because they were injured, and it was very helpful. And now there's like a big argument, like, is that good or bad? And now Coco had this idea, like, maybe we can use that spell to help the needs. And so she talked to Lord Belderdrude. I think that's his name. He was like a witch inventor. At first, he was against it because that certain spell is against the rule and that it's been forgotten. And he's just afraid that the war before might happen again, but then he realized maybe he could do something else, and so he did. He created a device that will turn back in time when someone's injuries will go away. So now that they have this device, it could cause a little bit of uproar if they find out that they use certain spell, but for now it's been extra helpful, especially to the people who needs it. This volume, not much going on. They're just still trying to figure out how to get rid of the leeches, trying to find Costa, and then Coco found Costa, and they had a talk, and then some people were reunited because they got separated. So not much going on, not too drastic, but for now the main goal was to find Costas and how to help the people, especially with their injuries. So this is volume 13. I'm not sure when volume 14 is coming out. I did some research but can't find any answer. This manga has a slow release. It looks like they only release twice a year. I wish it was a little bit faster, but you know what, it cannot be helped. And I'm not sure if I could find this online, but other than that, I really like the story. Even though this volume was a bit in the slow side, not much going on, I still like it. So let me know if you guys read this, because it's very kind of popular, especially if you're into fantasy, and the anime is coming soon. I've decided to read one more for tonight. This one's called Eden of Witches Volume 1 by Yumeji. What's interesting about this manga is the publisher is from France and it's printed in Italy. This manga comes with a dust jacket. This is actually the back. I had it prepared. This is the front. So, in the early days, plants and animal coexisted peacefully until human was around. Now, the human did some horrible things, so the plants and animal decided to go in hiding. However, they trusted the witches because they're very special. So our main character, Pilly, she's a witch. She lives away from the human. She lives in an area where she's surrounded by plants because they only entrusted the witches. She lives with a lady named Tora. However, she's not feeling well. So Pilly had no choice but to go in town to get some medicine or even find a doctor. Now, the outside is just super dry, no plants, no animals, because again, they're in hiding and they only trusted the witches. Once she reached the town, nobody was able to help her until she witnessed something horrible, very horrible. A witch was being punished because they assumed she was hoarding some plants, which the human doesn't understand that the plants are only entrusted witches. After that horrible scene, she was talking to a man who was supposed to help her, but once he reached to her place, he lied and brought a bunch of soldiers and decided to ruin everything because he's actually a scientist. He studies biology and he even experiment on witches. Just horrible. Something horrible also happened to Tora, and before all this incident happened, Tora actually gave Pilly a seed that she was supposed to help grow, and then during the incident she was just very miserable and very unhappy, and the seed decided to grow and sprouted as a magical beast. This is him. His name is actually Oak, and he's also covered with plants. Knowing the situation, Oak decided to attack the soldier. They retreated back. However, seeing what happened to Tora, Oak was very sad. Now, their main goal is to go Eden. Eden is a place where a bunch of selective witches are living right now. It's the only place where they can live peacefully. So now they're on this journey to find Eden. Before that, Pilly decided to call the Emerds. Emerds are like plants or maybe like spirits who can probably help her find Eden. Now, the track is very difficult because it's just full of rocks. It's very dry. She did hurt her ankle and she met a boy named Bo. Bo decided to take her back to a village where he lived, and she was staying there for a couple nights. However, the villagers, thinking that she is a witch, they would have to report her and they will get rewarded because food is very scarce. It's just so difficult to make a living because everything is just super dry and they can't trust the capital. So Bo and Pilly decided to escape. However, they knew about their plans, so they intervened. Bo and Pilly almost didn't escape, but Oak came to the rescue. In the end, it was just Pilly and Oak heading to Eden, because Bo decided to stay behind because he has an uncle. So that's how the volume ended. I really like the story so far. Again, it's a bit different from other witches manga that I read. It has an interesting plot because she's on this journey finding Eden. I'm kind of interested how Eden looks like. This is definitely a big fantasy. I'm enjoying the story so far. Let me just show you guys the inside. Here's the illustration. I really like it so far. Oh my god, this is just beautifully done. Looking forward to read more. There's already 2 volumes out. I think there's like 3 more coming out throughout this year. So I'm not sure if this is a short series. But yeah, can't wait to read. Hopefully one day this will make into an anime because I think it's going to be so nice seeing this in action. And so you can see, I just finished reading another witch manga. This manga, I have it for so long. I'm finally reading it. This one's called Flying Witch. I read volume 1 and 2 by Chihiro Ishizuka. It's definitely a slice of life, takes in the modern time. We have our main character, Makoto. She's about 15. She's actually a witch in training. So she moved from Yokohama to her cousin's place. So this way she can train herself becoming a witch. And that's her cat named Cheeto. I think it's Cheeto. And this is also her cousin. I think they're like second cousin. She also has a brother. And so this is the sister. At first, the younger sister didn't remember Makoto because she was only 3 years old, and then she also found out that she's a witch. Now, the witches around Japan is sort of well known, but not quite much. Let's just say the number of witches around Japan isn't that much because some of them chose to have a normal life, and so this story is just about her trying to become a witch. She does go to school, she meets new friends, and then time to time her older sister does visit because she wants to help Makoto whenever she's around, since she may need help, since there's no other witches that might be able to help her, and since she's very well experienced, she might as well. Besides her training, she's also growing vegetable and getting herself familiarized around town because there's a lot of things that's very new to her, even some vegetables that she haven't heard, and even an animal called fat peasants, because in her hometown they don't have peasants. So this story is just very simple about her day-to-day. She does face a lot of challenges here and there, but I really like it so far. I already collected over maybe 10 or 12 volumes, so I know I need to catch up. I'm not sure if this manga is finished. I think there is an anime, but not quite sure. If you have read this before, let me know. So this is the first volume. I'm going to show you guys the illustration. I find the illustration very simple, very basic. I still like it. Just gets to the point when it comes to the story, even though it's slow paced, and I just love the vibe because, you know, she's a witch, and I love reading about witches, as you can see, because this is all about witches for this reading log. So, looking forward. Also, there was this, I think it was called Harbinger, and he was kind of like around because he noticed or heard that there was a witch in training. That's him. I'm not sure if it's a him or her. And then that's the younger sister named China Sue. Yeah, China Sue. She was, of course, scared because, I mean, look at that appearance. Anyway, that was kind of quite interesting, to be honest. But other than that, looking forward to read more of this manga. Sorry about the background noise. That's my heater. So I just finished reading this manga. This one's called Witch Printing Office. Story by Mochinchi. Art by Yasuhiro Miyama. The first volume. Now, I got this manga because I like the front cover. It's just very eye-catching. Really like the color. So, overall, the story was okay. This is an isekai. Our main character, Mika, suddenly was transferred to another world where full of magics. Now, she is a witch, but she can only do one certain magic, and that is copying. And that is why she decided to run her own company to help other magic users publish their spells in a book. She also has an event that's called Magic Market where anybody can participate, and even buyers and sellers. Basically, the magician people sell their magics to other magic user. This event is so huge because magic user wants to buy other spells from other magic user, and then Mika one day had to hire more help, especially from the knights, because the first event was out of control. The second event, she had to ask help and advice because the first event didn't work out the way she wanted, and this time she think that it'll be more participant and of course buyers. So she had to ask the four great kings. They're like the biggest and most powerful functions. There are other factions, not function. There are actually other faction in this story. It just depends of the power or the type of magic user. And these people were able to help her. Not only that, she had to also ask the knights. The knights are supposed to be the protectors of this realm, and they're also trying to prepare if the demon king comes back. I'd say it is considered to be an isekai because she was reincarnated. There's an adventurers guild, there's a demon king, and the vibes just seems very isekai. So the whole point of this event is she's trying to find that spell that will help her get back to home. So far, she hasn't found anything that she needed, and that is why she's trying to continue putting together this event until she can go home. Besides that event, she runs her company. Sometimes she would go on and help others, and then it also talks about the knights trying to do their best in case if there's another demon king attack. It's a really interesting read. Honestly, I find it okay. I would have read the second volume if I was really desperate, but honestly I'm not that desperate, so I decided to read the first volume and kind of just show you guys what I think. This manga is finished with 6 volumes, so it is a short series, so I wouldn't mind continue and reading and see where the story goes. Let's go through the illustration. Here we go. Really like the illustration. I find it super detailed. So this is the time when she was making copies because that's the only magic she can use. I do find this manga super wordy, but you know what? It's not bad. Sometimes it does goes fast. Other than that, I'm looking forward to read more. Hopefully she'll find that certain spell and maybe she can go back home. I also want to add this. I think this manga probably got inspired maybe parts of Lord of the Rings because they have characters called Gandalf. They even mention Mithil. Even some of the character designs very similar to Lord of the Rings. So I found I actually have all 6 volumes. I really like the spine. The color just go well together. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish reading this manga soon because I have all the volume. I just want to show you guys my like witch and magic manga. So this is mostly all my witches area, and it kind of extend here and a mix of other genre. So mostly witches, and I have some behind. And then I put it back all the witch printing press. I think I might read that next, or this one, but I don't think I should because I don't have the rest, and that's a definitely out of print manga. And then the Flying Witch. What's on the top? Okay, something Generation Witch. Oh, my witch senpai. I might read this next, or this one. I read the first one. I should continue. But yeah, that's mostly all the witches manga, and the rest are just like anything with magic. Oh, so I have the other Generation Witch. Oh, I also got the Witch of Thistle Castle and the Silent Witch. Cool. So just finished reading these 2 volumes of Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants Me to Make a Love Potion. So I read 2 and 3. It is by Kamada. Original story Eko Mutsuhana. Character design by Valent. This is actually a cute fantasy romance. We got a witch that lives by herself out in the lake, and then one day she got a visitor, this guy. His name is Sir Harridge. He's actually a royal knight bodyguard for a princess. He's actually there to request to make a love potion. Now, our main character, she's seen him before 4 years ago when she was visiting town, and so she was completely surprised when he came to visit. and I guess she has always had a crush on him, and of course she's super happy. But at the same time, during his visit, she would take her time making the love potion, so this way he can spend time with her. Whenever he paid a visit to see the progress of the love potion, he would also bring some treats for her because he noticed that she might be not eating enough. It's a really cute fantasy story. I am actually really enjoying it a lot. I think it's because it's a slow burn romance, and that's for me. Now that she's almost done with the potion, she's developing more feelings. And then when it comes to Sir Harsh, I think he's also feeling the same. Now, when the potion was done, she thought that he would stop paying a visit. However, he did continue paying a visit because it's kind of obvious that they both have a thing for each other, but right now they haven't really confessed to each other. I think the funniest moment was he actually let her try the potion if it worked, and it did sort of work, and something really happened. And I don't want to get to the juicy part. Other than that, I really like the story. I think there's one more volume. I'm not sure if that is the final volume. I think this romance sort of remind me of the other like fantasy romance that I read before. I think because it's always a man and a woman having a good time eating together. I think eating together just brings so much interest, and I just love about this story. It's not just about romance or about the potion, but it's about also having a good time being around each other. Other than that, it's just a big fantasy romance. She's a witch. At first she was kind of awkward and shy, but now that she's slowly opening up to him, he's also doing the same thing. I think it's just super cute. I'm definitely looking forward to read more of this manga because even though the potion is done, he's still there for her, because there was that one night when a thief came by and then he was there to save her day. Like, that was so cute. I'm actually gonna end this reading like a little bit early so this way I can just enjoy the rest of the week. So this time I read a lot of new volume 1 as well as continuing some series that I haven't read for a while. So we got Witch Life in a Micro Room volume 3, so cute. Aria of the Beach Forest volume 2, that was really nice to read, so refreshing. Witch Hat Atelier, as always, really good witch manga, that was volume 14. Eden of Witches, I really enjoyed this manga so much, really love the illustration. I also like where the story is heading. And we also got Flying Witch volume 1 and 2, very slice of life, very cute, very nice. And then to my surprise, Witch Printing Office volume 1, I didn't expect this to be an isekai. It was still nice to read, even though I mean I did enjoy, but not quite as much like the rest. And lastly, Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants to Make Me a Love Potion 2 and 3, really cute fantasy romance. I can't believe that I actually enjoy it because sometimes I can be very picky, but this one was very nice. Let me know if you guys have read any of this witches manga. Are you a big fan of witches manga? I just want to say thank you so much for watching this reading log. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.